three cousins, Divya Prakash, lovingly called Kunju, Krishnan PP fondly known as Kuttan, and Arjun, affectionately called Aju, have been very close since they were little children. From their earliest days, they have been more like best friends than just relatives. They grew up together, shared childhood adventures, celebrated family occasion, and supported each other through happy and sad times. Their bond is deep, rooted in love, shared memories, and understanding. Even as they grew older and started following their own paths in life, the closeness between them remained strong and unshaken. They talked almost every day, no matter how far apart they were. Each cousin had a special place in the other's hearts, like chosen siblings. Aju's life has not been easy. His parents got divorced when he was young, which had a lasting impact on him. Growing up in a broken family made him independent and emotionally guarded. He became self-reliant and decided to live life on his own terms, without expecting much from others. Aju developed a deep interest in motorcycles and went on to become a bike mechanic. He is not just skilled at his job, but passionate about it. He loves bikes, speed, and freedom. He believes in doing what he loves and refuses to be trapped in a conventional lifestyle. His carefree and adventurous personality makes him different from his cousins. He often found peace while working on bikes, where the sound of engines felt like music to him. Aju's workshop became not just a place of work, but a space where he could be truly himself. Kuttan, on the other hand, is very different from Aju. He works as a software engineer and has a stable career. Although he lives and works in the city, his heart still belongs to his village. He often misses the simplicity and peace of his hometown. Kuttan is traditional by nature and prefers a simple, calm life. He is a dutiful son and values his cultural roots. Despite being in the IT industry, which is modern and fast-paced, Kuttan continues to long for the familiar comfort of his village, its customs, and its people. He keeps photos of his village in his apartment, and sometimes listens to old Malayalam songs to feel closer to home. Even in the busiest days, his thoughts would often drift to the green fields and slow pace of village life. Kunju is an intelligent and ambitious young woman. She has finished her graduation and has dreams of pursuing an MBA from a top business school like IIM, Indian Institute of Management. She wants to make something big of her life and is focused on building a successful career. However, her plans take a turn when her parents consult their astrologer. Based on the astrologer's advice, they decide that she should get married soon and they fix her wedding with Shivdas, who is also known as Das. Das is a highly successful corporate executive, but he is also a workaholic who spends most of his time focused on his career. Kunju agrees to marry him, not out of love, but due to her parents' insistence. She feels confused and helpless but doesn't want to disappoint her family. Inside, she still hopes for a future where she can follow her dreams. After the wedding, Kunju moves to Bangalore, where Das is living and working. She tries to adjust to her new life in the big city. Around the same time, Kuttan also relocates to Bangalore because of his job. Aju, looking for new opportunities, also moves to the city and joins a biker gang as a mechanic. Although they are now living in a new environment, far from home, the cousins continue to support each other. Their bond becomes a source of strength and comfort as they deal with the challenges of adulthood. They meet often for dinner or coffee, sharing stories about work and life. Even in a busy city, they create their own little circle of comfort and care. Life in Bangalore is not easy for Kunju. Das is always busy with work and shows little interest in spending quality time with her. He is emotionally distant, and Kunju starts to feel lonely in her marriage. She tries to find happiness in small moments, especially when she is with Kuttan and Aju. Her cousins provide her with emotional support, and the time she spends with them helps her cope with her sadness. She hides her pain behind a smile, not wanting to worry her parents. Meanwhile, Kuttan, who has very specific expectations about his future wife, he dreams of a traditional, modest woman who wears saris and respects cultural values, falls in love with Meenakshi, a smart and stylish air hostess he meets on a flight from Bangalore to Kochi. Meenakshi is outgoing, modern, and very different from the kind of girl Kuttan imagined marrying. However, he is drawn to her confidence and charm. They begin dating, and Kuttan makes several changes to impress her. He changes his wardrobe, starts going to clubs, and tries to adopt a more modern lifestyle. He feels excited and nervous at the same time, trying to become someone he thinks she would like. His cousins notice the changes in him but choose not to judge. Unfortunately, things do not go as Kuttan hoped. One day, he visits Meenakshi's apartment and is shocked to see her ex-boyfriend there. It becomes clear that she has not fully moved on and was using Kuttan to make her ex jealous. This realization breaks Kuttan's heart. Feeling used and betrayed, he ends the relationship and returns to his old self, learning an important lesson about being true to who he is. He feels foolish at first, but slowly begins to forgive himself. His cousins comfort him. Kunju's marriage continues to fall apart. Das remains emotionally unavailable and does not make any effort to understand her. After a heated argument one day, Kunju becomes curious about a particular room in their apartment that Das never allows anyone to enter. She finally decides to open it. Inside, she finds the room filled with photos, personal items, and memories belonging to a woman she doesn't know. Kunju is horrified. She realizes that Das is still emotionally attached to someone from his past and that she holds no real place in his life. Feeling unwanted and unloved, Kunju decides to leave Das. She returns to Kerala, heartbroken, accompanied by Kuttan. She feels like a guest in her own marriage, invisible and ignored. Going back home feels like the only way to protect her peace. Back in Kerala, they face even more emotional challenges. Kuttan learns that his father has left the family and gone on a permanent religious pilgrimage, giving up all his property and rights. He has signed everything over to Kuttan and his sister. Kuttan now has to take care of his mother, who insists on moving with him to Bangalore. Though Kuttan feels overwhelmed, he agrees and brings her to the city with him. The responsibility feels heavy on his shoulders, but he doesn't complain. He knows his mother has sacrificed a lot for the family, and now it's his turn. Aju, once a passionate bike racer, had been banned from racing for a year due to an unfortunate and controversial incident. This was a huge setback for him. During this time, he comes across Sara, a radio jockey whose voice and personality attract him. He listens to her radio show and becomes curious about her. When they finally meet, Aju is surprised to learn that Sara is a paraplegic and uses a wheelchair. But instead of being discouraged, Aju finds himself even more inspired by her strength and positive attitude. They become close friends, and Aju starts to feel something deeper for her. However, he is saddened when he learns that Sara is planning to leave for Australia soon, as she has received a scholarship to study at a university there. Aju starts waiting for her show every evening, just to hear her voice. When they talk, he forgets about his worries, feeling a rare peace. As Kunju and Das move forward with their divorce, Aju learns something unexpected. He discovers that Das was once a bike racer, known by the name Shiva. In the past, Shiva was the leader of a popular biking gang. He gave up racing after he was involved in an accident that tragically took the life of his beloved, Natasha Francis. The trauma from that incident changed him completely. Understanding Das's painful past makes Kunju see him in a different light. She realizes that he never really healed from that loss. Suddenly, Das's coldness starts to make sense to her. She feels both sad and sorry for the man she once misunderstood. Touched by his story, Kunju decides to return to Bangalore. She also resumes her studies and begins preparing for her MBA. Slowly, she reconnects with Das, who has now become more remorseful and open. She helps him deal with his grief and even arranges for him to meet Natasha's parents. That meeting becomes a turning point for Das, allowing him to let go of the guilt he had been carrying for years. With forgiveness and new hope, Kunju and Das rebuild their marriage on stronger emotional foundations. Their conversations become warmer, with fewer silences and more smiles. They begin to understand each other not just as husband and wife, but as two people healing together. Kuttan's mother, now living in Bangalore, begins to learn about modern Indian culture through her neighbors. She becomes more open-minded and adapts to city life in her own way. After 3 months, she decides to visit her daughter, who lives in Oklahoma, USA. At the airport, as Kuttan and his mother are saying goodbye, they unexpectedly see Meenakshi again. She is now working as the air hostess on the flight Kuttan's mother is taking. Meenakshi approaches Kuttan and tells him that her relationship with her ex-boyfriend is truly over this time, and she hopes he might give her another chance. But Kuttan, having moved on, tells her firmly that she should leave him forever. Kuttan speaks calmly, but with strength. This time, he chooses self-respect. He smiles politely and walks away, feeling peaceful rather than angry. On the same day that Sara is supposed to leave for Australia, Aju gets a chance to compete in a major bike race. With his cousins Kunju and Kuttan, and even Das, cheering for him, Aju wins the race. The victory gives him confidence, but his thoughts are still with Sara. After the race, he realizes how much she means to him. He rushes to stop her from leaving and tells her how important she has become to his life. Sara, moved by his words, decides to give up the scholarship and stay in Bangalore with Aju. Her mother, who did not like Aju initially, is also convinced now, seeing his genuine effort, his passion, and the love and support he receives from his cousins. She begins to see the real person behind the biker image and accepts their relationship with a soft heart. Later, Kuttan falls in love with someone unexpected, a foreigner named Michelle. Michelle is a European woman who has embraced Indian culture deeply. She is a Bharatanatyam dancer and is passionate about Indian traditions. Despite their different backgrounds, Kuttan and Michelle connect emotionally and culturally. Their mutual respect turns into love, and eventually, they get married. Kuttan never imagined falling for someone so different, yet so familiar in spirit. In the end, life brings all 3 cousins and their loved ones together. Kunju, Das, Aju, Sara, Kuttan, and Michelle gather in a happy moment. They all rush into a room together, laughing and smiling, and pose for a group photo, a beautiful symbol of healing, love, friendship, and the strength of family bonds. The photo captures more than faces, It holds the memories of everything they have been through. Together, they have learned that no matter how hard life gets, love and family can help you find your way back.